Hello everybody, this is SodaFan2K10 here, welcoming you to yet another Brio Thomas and Friends discussion. And today we're looking at another road vehicle who is a resident of Thomas's branch line. It's Terence the Tractor. And I have a lot to say about Terence, including in terms of his model and his character, but we will get to those in just a bit. So first off, let's look at his model, and one obvious omission from this particular model is his treads. Now, that's not the fault of Brio, that is basically my fault that they have come off. Most of Terence models from all different ranges, including Ertl, Take and Play and what have you, even the original wooden railway versions, I've seen are missing these treads, and that's just the fault of toys in general that have, you know, separate rubber caterpillar treads, is that they can break, and you know, mine obviously have. So I hope that doesn't detract from this look at Terence too much. We'll take a look at his face really quick. Let's see if we can get that into focus by doing this, and there we go. So there's Terence's face. I think it's a pretty good face. Terence's face in the show is just a little bit weird to me. I can't really describe why, but this is a nice accurate representation of it, including the infamous Widow's Peak. I don't know why he's going out of focus. We'll try this again. There we go. I don't want my hand to cover up the set we got behind us. But yeah, there's his face, with including the all-important Widow's Peak. Terence's face, I don't think, from what I know from the TV series, I think he only ever had just a smiling expression. I know he had, this isn't his only expression, he had another one that was seen in Faulty Whistles from Series 6. But I don't think he ever had like a shocked, angry, sad expression or whatever. I know a lot of models have unused expressions that were never used in on screen, but I don't think Terence is one of them. I don't think they ever made Terence with angry or shocked expressions. But there's my look at that. There's a look at the a side look at Terence. You can see down here he's got nice detailing in plastic. He's actually one of the only models that uses plastic in this way to add extra detailing. All the engines that we've looked at just use plastic for like the smoke box and the face and what have you, but Terence actually has it for some extra detail, and it does look nice. He's got the suggestion of some extra wheels down here. These little bumps down here are suggestions for more wheels. They don't move or anything, they're literally just what you see is what you get. As a side-on look, you can see he's got the open engine compartment, so all his engines here you can see straight in. We take a look at the back, and he has a magnet so we can pull things around. When we take a look at this side, yeah, you can see why I started with him looking the other direction that I normally do. We're missing that bit of plastic detailing. That's just, you know, from years of wear and tear from playing with Terence. I can't recall exactly when that happened, you know, what incident made him lose his treads and that bit of plastic detailing, but you know, that's just, it is what it is. Terence is just one of those models which I think I played with a lot when I was younger, so maybe that contributed to it. I don't think I've ever mentioned this, but most of my Brio collection is a hand-me-down, in fact, from my older brother. When he grew out of Thomas and I was getting into it, obviously I inherited the collection, I started adding to it more, and so I can't tell you whether or not this was my doing, you know, him losing his treads and what have you, or his, but it's just something that has happened over the years from playing with him. We take a look at the top of him. You can see he's got this spot here, this little little circular opening. That I think is for a driver. I don't recall ever putting a driver in him. If there's like a specific Brio figure that fits that, I don't think he ever came with a figure to go in him, and I don't know if Brio ever made a figure that is compatible with him. I always just use a Lego figure, just have him sit down in there. It looks a bit weird. It does look, he does stand up a little bit too tall, but it works. He's also got the suggestion of like a smokestack or something, or like an exhaust stack. Underneath has the Brio sticker right there. Really quick, yep, 96, as with all the others. We can get a better look, in fact, at the you know, the little bit of wheel detail that is there. All of this underneath is plastic, actually. So all that plastic detailing and where his, you know, the axles for the wheels and whatever is all plastic. but there's nothing wrong with that. And all the top is all wood, of course. And looking at Terence from this angle, I really like this Brio Terence. I really like the proportions of it compared to the original learning curve model of Terence. That particular model I don't like. It just stands way too tall and it uses the railway wheels. Like Terence here doesn't use, the standard wheels that are used on trains and road vehicles or what have you. Like we looked at Bertie last week and I mentioned he had road specific wheels, but Terence here doesn't. He has these smaller wheels and he looks more in proportion to me, and I like that a lot. Most of his other ranges are pretty good as well. Ertl and Tommy, what have you, and I think even Bachman, maybe Hornby have made him, and they all look really cool as well. But for whatever reason, the early Wooden Railway one doesn't look too great. Nor does his newer models. They look better with more detailing around the wheels, but the face is completely wrong to me. It's just a completely wrong shape. Like this is pretty accurate to me, just the dimensions of it. But that is Brio Terence. I like him a lot. He's one of my favourite Brio models personally. Just looking around him, it's just a shame that mine has suffered damage, and I have thought over the years of trying to pick up another Terence, of replacing this one. But I really like the idea of using, my childhood models in my series. The fact that, the toys I played with that gave me so much joy as a child are, the stars of my show, essentially. So that's why I haven't replaced him. And I don't plan on repairing him either, on like maybe buying a new version of him and then ripping off one of these to glue on the other and ripping off the treads. I'm just going to leave Terence as is. He may not look as good, but that's just my choice and what I want to do. So Terence as a character, he's one of those characters. He's a bit strange for the fact that he's one of those characters that appeared about once a season, and he had a couple lines in an episode. Like in one episode per season he would appear. I'm not sure off the top of my head if he appeared in season 4 or 7 from the classic series, but I know he appeared in 1, 2, 3 and 5. But from then on he just disappeared. Like he never played a role, I don't think, in any of the hit model, the new series, if you will, series 8 to 12. And obviously we know from, when the show went to CGI, then Terence really disappeared. He may have appeared in like a learning segment in the hit era, but there was no trace of him in the CGI series until series 21, where he finally made his grand return and got an episode all to himself in the form of Terence Breaks the Ice, which is a really cool episode. I really enjoy it. I think Terence is portrayed very well in that episode, and it's just nice. I really like the fact, I'm very grateful for the fact that they managed to bring Terence back, even if it was only in that one episode. I think he appeared in series 23 as well, but he only really had the 1 star in appearance, and that's all Terence really needed, because Terence was, as far as I'm aware, he's the only series 1 character that was missing from the CGI series at that point. Everyone else had obviously made the transition, and by that I mean vehicle character. I know characters like Mrs. Kindly, for instance, never made a direct appearance. She was mentioned in The Great Race, but never appeared in person. But Terence was the only one that was missing, and I'm super glad that he managed to make a comeback. Again, he got his 15 minutes of time in the sun, or 10 or 9 minutes technically for the runtime. But yeah, it was all worth it. And I'm really glad. One thing I'm really glad about to see lately is Terence's theme from this original show. I never really talked about a character's theme before, but I really want to make special mention of Terence's, because the original theme is a really interesting piece of music. It's all mechanical sounding, which fits Terence perfectly. But lately he's been getting a lot of really awesome covers of his theme, and I wanted to highlight a couple of them. Mike O'Donnell, one of the 2 original composers of music for the show, including Junior Campbell, he released a version of Terence's theme as well, which is just great. Most recently, One Tram Band, formerly known as the Tugster Intensifieds, released a really cool version of his theme, as well as a user called Upside Now, who released a full album of reorchestrated music from the original, from Series 1. And Terence's theme of all of them is one of my personal favourites. He and One Tram Band combined Terence's theme with Don't Judge a Book by Its Cover, which is a song based on Terence's theme. And it's basically the story of Thomas, Terence and the Snow told in song form. But that's one of my favourite songs, and Terence's theme is one of my favourites, and I just want to highlight how much I appreciate everybody giving Terence's theme the love it deserves. That's just one thing, you know, we're talking about Terence, and that's an aspect of Terence that I really like that I just wanted to talk about. So I think that's about it for what I have to say. We're going to wrap things up because we've had a good look at his model, which I've already said I think is really good, and I've already talked about how much I like Terence as a character. I just wish he would have had more time in the sun in the original series, but I'm glad he at least managed to make an appearance in the CGI series as well. So thank you all very much for watching this video. I hope you all enjoyed. Let me know as usual down in the comments what you think of Terence the Tractor down below, and I will see you next week for another Brio, Thomas and Friends discussion. So thank you all very much for watching, and I'll see you all then.